What's up? What's up? GYST. We're going to talk about why your business card most of the time never gets you business and why it only happens rarely. We're going to connect the dots for our clients. But first, here is why your business card rarely books you any gigs. It is because a business card simply shows clients the door. Imagine if I just said, hey man, here's the door. But I don't tell you what the door leads to, what's behind it, or I don't even tell you how to open it. If you need to unlock it, where's the key? I don't do any of that. I just say, hey, man, here's a door. You're welcome to use it. What? Why would anybody open up that door unless they're absolutely curious? And if I went about my business for the rest of my day and then didn't pass by that door again, would I ever think to open it? Probably not. So it is on us to create interest, excitement, and utility around our card, just in the same way I can create interest, excitement, curiosity, and utility around a door, saying, hey man, what's behind this door is absolutely incredible. You're going to have the time of your life. All you have to do is open it up. We're not going to say any of that to our clients about our business cards, but it is an example. So have you ever received a business card from a DJ? Let's use that as our example. And in that moment, have you ever thought about an event that you can actually hire him for? Maybe, but probably not. My next question, was that DJ decent, good, or even great? Yup. I can think of a few DJs who were rock solid performers. They were amazing. I enjoyed working with them. Their sets were great, and they were above and beyond anything. You know, even when I get asked for referrals on DJs, I just sort through my stack of business cards, and it's hard for one to stand out among the rest. However, if a DJ approached me with his business card and just said, hey, man, loved having you tonight. You were so much fun. Thanks for being here. Oh, yeah, no problem. You got anything interesting coming up? Any parties, events, anything like that? Just interested to see what's going on in your life. No, nothing really. When's your birthday? Oh, next month. Oh, no way. What are you going to do for it? I'm just having some friends over. We're going to have a pretty quiet dinner. Just us. We're just going to cook, maybe watch a movie. Oh, man. Is that what you do every year, or is that something you're just doing this year? No, we usually do that every year. Well, what if you spice it up? I am a big Family Feud fan. What if I set up a big size monitor, like Family Feud style, like the real professional one? I bring a whole Family Feud, like I'll bring a table, a buzzer, I'll have some microphones, a podium. I can play the role of Steve Harvey. You and your friends can split into two teams. I'll provide the music, I'll provide the games and activities. All you have to do is have your friends show up and absolutely surprise them that you did something so creative and unique and actually did something they'll remember for a long time for your birthday instead of just cooking dinner and watching a movie. Would you like to talk about that and set it up? You don't have to make a decision. When can we connect? Oh my gosh, yes. That is how we connect. That's connecting the dots. So here's how we can do it as magicians. Let's start by putting ourselves in positions, first of all, to even hand out our card and have these conversations. To do that, we need to make sure we leave lasting impressions on our clients. We stay a little bit later. We answer questions. We socialize, maybe even for strolling magic. We really need to leave an impression and also allow a dedicated amount of time per gig to do this. I know that after my stand-up show or stage show, I have 15 to 30 minutes where this is my main focus, okay? We do this by having courage and discipline. You got to remember to do it. You got to be brave, and you have to just, you have to be disciplined enough to make it happen. You might be tired. You might want to go home. You may have forgot to even schedule this time out in the first place before your next gig, but it is important to have the discipline to do that. So, also, remember, you're not a burden. What you do is a gift. We are powerful. People are honored if we want to connect with them. Oh my gosh, have you ever been to a show and seen the performer on stage and got to meet him after or take a picture with him? Or has he even passed by you in the smell of his cologne? You can't even believe you're breathing in the same air, and you don't know who this guy is. You just met him tonight, and you only watched his 45-minute performance, but it was cool that he paid attention to you. Yeah, we do that. We're powerful. We are celebrities when we give people an experience of a lifetime for 45 minutes where we are the undivided attention of those they care about, trust, and respect. So spend extra time with clients after a show. Make sure you make an impact. And when somebody asks for your card, here's a line that will serve you well. Oh, of course. What did you have in mind? What did you have in mind? Simple, really. So before we give them our card, before we give them our card, let's create the event in their mind first, okay? Before we even give them the card, let's help them be excited about it so that we can tell them what's behind that door before we give them the key to open it. Okay? If we give them the key to open it and then say, all right, now here's what's behind there, it feels like my ulterior motive is for them to open that door. If I give them my business card and then tell them about the event, it feels like I'm pressuring them a little bit more into a sale. I don't want to do that. So before we give their card, and this can be either when people ask us or even if they haven't asked us and we're just having conversations with them after. This order is super important. You can start with a question if they didn't ask you for your card, or even if they did, this will work for both. You can say, oh yeah, what do you do for work? Got anything interesting coming up? What other parties like this have you been to? Because if they've been to parties like this in the past, they probably go every year, or at least hang out with that friend group. And if they have parties like this, they're likely to have one again soon. So just through your casual conversation where people are asking you questions and hanging out, oh yeah, what do you do for work? Or, oh yeah, this party was awesome. You got anything interesting coming up? And it's okay if they get an inkling that, you're trying to figure out if there's an event. We get them thinking about them using us. So now we just need to find a core conflict and desired outcome for that event. And guess what? If they say that there's nothing coming up, that's probably because they don't know the types of events that can have magicians. We can tell them that if they work in sales, oh my gosh, how often do they make you go to like sales conferences or sit in all hand meetings? Pretty frequently. Did they ever do any fun like themes like, for those all hand meetings? Do they ever have a speaker or provide like an actual presentation using entertainment? No. I'd love to do that. Who can I connect to who's in charge of that? Or the desired outcome, just like I talked about with the birthday party example with the DJ. We want to make them picture what it'd be like to have us there. Imagine all the people at your all hands meeting. They're sitting in that conference room or that meeting room, all the different fold-up chairs they put out just for this, or the rolly chairs. They've got this slideshow, but they have a magician who's presenting the slideshow, pumping energy into every slide, making people go into breakout sessions and do activities, and ultimately getting the point across in 14 minutes for a meeting that would have otherwise been 47 minutes and ultimately could have just been an email. We also want to take away the mystery of the process. Most people have never booked live entertainment before, and again, we are powerful, mystical creatures to them. Entertainers are kind of a big deal, and people have no idea what it looks like to book us. Do they call an agent or a manager? Do they have to know somebody? Do they have to have a ton of money? Like, what does it look like? Just let them know, hey, if we connect, we can come up with some ideas for an event, and then basically, I'll walk you through what the booking process looks like. It is super duper easy. You don't have to go that far into it, but let them know that it is at least possible for them to book you. At least let them know that they are worthy of that, able to do that, and it is not a challenge. So, number one rule here, ask for their information. Whether they've asked for your card or whether you are trying to get them to receive yours, giving our business card is far less effective than getting their details because we know we'll reach out. Giving them a card and trusting them to reach out is a very slim to none chance. And it's not because they don't care. They're busy. They forget. They don't know what pocket it's in, or they leave it at the event. So if someone asks for your card, ask for theirs. If they don't have it, ask for their phone number and their email. And if they give you their card and it doesn't have their phone number or email, ask for that anyway. Mention that it's not on there and ask for it. Then, of course, ask what they had in mind. All right, so if they didn't ask for your card, or if they say nothing, what did you have in mind? No, nothing. Just want to find a way to stay in touch. Figure out what creative things you can come up with and let them take credit for them. Make them excited for planning this. And here's the thing here. If they're asking for your card, they obviously have the intent to potentially use you for something. You will never have a more ripe, prime time to get them excited to think about booking you than when they're asking for your card. That is when they are the most inspired they will ever be to use you. They just saw your best commercial ever, your live performance. Now, we have to get a date or at least a time frame. At least know that they do it usually in December or July or even the winter time. If you can get a firm date, that way we know about when to start reaching out following. We can put it in our CRM system. Ask who you should reach out to if it's not them, just like I mentioned before. Who's in charge of planning a meeting like this, or who usually gets you guys together for that Halloween party you mentioned? Oh, it's me. Oh, well, great. Oh, it's my neighbor, Sarah. She's usually the one in charge of planning it. Do you have Sarah's contact info? I'd love to reach out and just let her know I met you today. And then let them know that you will connect with them, but be specific. Oh, this is so awesome. Thank you so much for giving me your information. I'd love to reach out to you at some point next week. I could just shoot you an email just to check in and find out if you have time. Maybe after then we get on a phone call. It doesn't have to be about business. I just really love to stay connected to the people I meet. This is how I grow my family, and ultimately relationships are important. Or, hey, are you comfortable if I just send you an email at some point next month just to follow up and just see where you're at? I know you must be incredibly busy, and I know if I remember to follow up and at least take the mental energy off your plate. Remember, if we're doing something in service of us, let's flip it and always make it sound like it's in service to them. Always, always, always do that for everything. When you follow up with them, remind them about the event they met you at. Also, remind them of the event that they potentially told you you could come to. But make sure you make them recall some details about the event if you can. Either about the one they saw you at or the one they had coming up. Have them recall a few details about it to get them excited again. You can do this by saying, man, I had such a great time at the party. Do you remember when Rob got so scared of the balloon that when it popped, he screamed like a little girl because he'd been waiting for it the entire time? Oh, yeah, that was so funny. Oh, man, I'll never forget you guys keeping me safe during that dangerous stunt. That truly meant the world to me. And the fact that little John yelled out, 911. It's so funny that I call that kid Little John, by the way. I don't know why that popped in my head. So don't get straight into business with them. Talk casually, just like we covered in the phone call, the phone call lesson, excuse me. And you can do this by just making your first reach out all fun and relationship building. No business at all. You don't have to mention anything up. Just checking in. Hey, I just want to check in with you. And just, I promise I would reach out. How have things been with you and your partner? Hey, I know that you mentioned you're getting married. How's the planning going? Just check in. And then, of course, ask them to connect on social media. This is the best way for us to stay top of mind every single day and have a chance for them to be raving fans that ultimately cannot wait for the next time we reach out. It'll be really cool for them to follow us there, and we can follow them too and see what they're up to, which gives us more of an excuse to reach out to them when we see something something positive happening in their life. We're going to make them feel popular. Some do's and don'ts of business cards and networking. Never rip your card in front of someone else. It makes your card feel cheap, invaluable, and it makes them more likely to leave it at the event. We are psychologically sending out the fact that our card is not important. Don't rip it in front of them. No center tears, please. Always make sure they see where you put their card. If they've given you their business card, make sure they watch you put it away delicately. You really want to make sure you treat it with respect, because then they'll mirror your actions and they'll treat yours with respect as well. Just a quick little reminder for them. Never put their card away without looking at it. Don't take their card, not glance at it, and put it in your breast pocket or your pants pocket. Look at it. Read the information on it. Just make it seem like you're actually receiving it, paying attention to it, because when you give them your card, they will pay attention to yours. Also, we want to validate them and make their day. If they handed us something that they've obviously worked hard on, they probably designed their own business card or at least paid somebody to do it, we should acknowledge it. It's like if somebody does their hair, let's compliment it, okay? They put effort into it. So, and of course, always take a picture of their card. You can send it off to your assistant, your VA. You can upload it into your CRM system, or ultimately just keep a folder on your phone of business cards so that when you go through your weekly check-ins or your monthly newsletter, you can add those emails in there and send it out. It is always, always good to have a picture or digital form of their card, because I know that I have those way more accessible than I do the paper versions. So never leave without the permission to reach out. If they give you their card, make sure you ask them for permission to reach out so they're expecting it. It's not a shock or creepy when you do it. And always follow up with them before it's too late. Never take too long on that follow-up. Of course, the door is open once you've got that permission, but you'll have the most impact when you reach out the sooner from the event. So also, always put them in your CRM. Please, they'll go in your email blast. They'll be in your system. And, man, it is so good to just have a CRM. You never have to think about it. You can hit a button and send out all your emails and check-ins in one click. Here's a challenge for you. I'm actually doing this right now. I've been doing this for a couple of months. Never leave a gig, either virtual or in person, without at least one strong lead or connection. If you can book at least one show or get pretty close to booking a show from every gig you're at, we're in business, baby. And the goal would be to get 4 or 5 at some point, but if you're not doing this strategy, work to just get one every show. In fact, if you can even get them to lock in a deposit right there, even better. Try that at least for a month. Just any gigs you got this month, really try that. Don't leave unless you're successful. Guess what? You might need to be there for a while. And if you get the hang of it, of course, continue it for more than a month. Just know your limits, know what you're comfortable with. I really want you to try this. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I really think that this is just ultimately good business. All right. That is why your business card hasn't been working for you in the past. And this is how to make it work.